You can read all of the self-development books that you want, but if you do not take decisive, deliberate action, your life will never change. You will be exactly in the same situation this time next year. And you might be thinking, well, Ali, I've got like 30 books. I know I'm going to succeed. I'm not against books. The theory is good, but the theory alone without any implementation is practically useless. Who is it that says to know and not do is the same as not knowing at all? I don't know who this quote is from, but it's so true. To have all this information and not implement it renders the information useless. And a lot of men get stuck in this phase where they just over-consume. And I say over-consume because they think their next book is what's missing to get them to the next level. No, it's the actual practical implementation. For example, for those of you that trade the foreign exchange market, you know that the only way to get better is to actually place real trades and learn from the mistakes that you make. You can read all the trading books that you want, but ultimately, you will not become a better trader just by reading more books. You have to trade. It's the same thing when it comes to the gym. You can read all the books you want on nutrition and how to bench press correctly and all sorts of stuff. But if you do not actually do these things, implement what these books are trying to teach you, you will not get any better. You won't. It's by doing. There's a saying, repetition is the mother of skill. You need to repeat something again and again and again and again to get better. It's the best way to learn is by doing. Now, can you learn from other people's mistakes? Absolutely. You should learn from other people's mistakes. But there's a lot of prepared people at the starting point who haven't even taken the first step because they're waiting for something. They're waiting for that nugget that will propel them. No. You learn as you go along. You learn how to improve things as you go along. I'm not against books. Books are fantastic. And you might learn something in a book that you implement and it changes your life forever. I do believe in the quote, information changes situations, but only when that information is applied. If it is not applied, it is worthless. So many people are very knowledgeable in certain areas. I've met guys that are very knowledgeable in nutrition, but they're out of shape because they're not applying what they've learned. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to criticize them and say, hey, stop learning. But if they're frustrated, and I speak to a lot of guys who are frustrated with where they are in life, but they have so many books. They keep ordering books. They've got an Audible subscription, but they haven't listened to a book on Audible in months. Or they just listen to it, but they never apply any of what these authors are trying to teach you. You gotta do, man. You wanna be a YouTuber? Make videos every damn day. You wanna become a better runner? Run every damn day. I mean, you gotta do the physical motions. You gotta engage in the physical motions. Otherwise, you will not improve. Paralysis by analysis. You keep reading and reading, thinking, yeah, the next book will be the game changer. It's not about the book. It's about you. What are you doing with the information you're learning? If you're not using it, if you're not applying that information, it's practically worthless. I was stuck in that loop, man. The next book, the next podcast. I was in that loop for so long. I was a self-development junkie. Oh, this book is better than this book, and this book is that. And nothing changed for me. I was still broke, still complaining. And it was because I wasn't applying what the information what the books were trying to teach me. So then I stopped buying books. I had a good amount sitting around collecting dust. So I stopped buying books. And I started to read some of the ones that I had. But I didn't read the entire book from cover to cover in one sitting. You know, because a lot of guys will brag about, oh, I read 3 books a week. Yeah, well, tell me what that first book that you read this week taught you in the first chapter. They'll forget. They just want to complete the book for the sake of completing it. Most people, that is. Now, some people can retain information very well, but usually, as human beings, you'd need to read a book several times to retain even 30 or 40% of what the book is teaching you, let alone to know the whole book inside out. So what I do right now is I read a chapter, close the book, go and implement, and I'll read another book maybe a couple of days later, like one chapter. I won't read the whole thing cover to cover because I won't retain the information. I just won't. It's very difficult. But I'm constantly in that state where I'm learning, applying, learning, applying, learning, applying. Not just learning, learning, learning. You don't want to be the quotes guy. Knows a lot, but is still in the exact same place that he was last year. Implementation. Implement the fucking information. Otherwise, you'll be in the exact same situation. All right? Get out of that loop that I was in. Get out of it, man. I've been there. Self-development junkies, I've been there. All right? Go and do. Stop reading books on how to become a better salesperson. Get into sales. Get a job. Pick up the phone. Make some calls. And then you can read the books to refine your craft and add some, some slight adjustments. But I want you to do and engage in the motions. All right? Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like, comment, let me know what you think down below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. See you in the next one.